Good morning and welcome to the Revolutionizing Club Marketing. As a Toastmaster workshop on ChatGPT and Canva, you can apply what we're going to show to your own business and how it can help you with that business. A little disclaimer, this presentation and the discussions we're going to have are for educational purposes only and should not be taken as specific advice in marketing, finance, business, health, or other professional areas. The AI tools and techniques discussed, including OpenAI's ChatGPT, are based on information current as of December 14, 2023, and they are subject to change. Be aware that the examples provided might not comply with specific regulations in your area. Always conduct your research on your own and consult with appropriate advisors before implementing any strategies from this workshop. Our agenda today. We're going to talk briefly about what is a GPT, how you go about prompt engineering. This is your interface into it. I'm going to show you how you can create images and loosely defined editing using DALL-E. And then we're going to get into a hands-on content creation prompt. You're going to log into your ChatGPT account. I'm going to provide you with the prompts you can put in, and you can follow along and see the results as we do it. What is GPT? It's a generative pre-trained transformer, advanced AI language developed by OpenAI. It uses deep learning techniques to produce human-like text based on the input it receives. GPT is capable of understanding and generating responses to a wide range of text-based queries, making it useful in applications like conversation, simulation, content creation, and language translation. I'm using in this demonstration what is called ChatGPT Plus. It costs $20 a month, but I can tell you right now, and you're going to discover it is well worth it. I do not receive any kickback for people joining ChatGPT or Canva. This is strictly for your information and let you know how it works. And that is a long technical term to say, I like to put it in layman's term, magic happens here. You put information in there, and just like everything else, garbage in, garbage out. And I want to warn and give you a warning up front that when ChatGPT gives you a response, it's still up to you to make sure that it makes sense. I can't guarantee what's going to come back. It gets confused sometimes, and it comes up with some very unique answers to things. Just look it over and understand what's going on. Access. If you have the free ChatGPT or you get the paid one, this is the difference we have. The free version is available to the general public at no cost. User can interact with it and the model, but there are usage limitations. ChatGPT Plus, the subscription version, it provides more access to the service, and especially during peak times. If you have the free one, and that's why I'm hoping we get this done in the morning before it gets to peak, you'll notice that the response time, if you're using the free version, is a whole lot different than if you had the ChatGPT Plus one. And in addition, sometimes ChatGPT Plus provides better access to the server. So as the paid user, you're at the top of the queue. The response time is where you will see the difference. And many times in the free version, the difference between the two, the free version will be slower. And you may get some limited access. This is growing fast across the globe. When you have the Plus, it gives you faster response time. Usage limits, you may come across that. The paid version usually have higher usage limits, and you're allowed more interactions with it. New features, you as a free user, you have access to the standard features and updates. But as a Plus, you will get early access to new features, and I can show you one of those, but I believe it's about to become public. It's in beta right now, but it will be released soon. And as they roll out, you will get early access to all of this. The cost right now, as it says, free is no cost, and Plus has one. And right now it's currently $20 a month that you can cancel anytime. AI, how can it help you? How many, and just think in your head, if you're dealing with social media, how many times people struggle with say, okay, what can I put out there next to keep my club or Toastmasters or my work, my business out in the public on the social networks? The AI I want to show you is it will help you be more productive, more efficient, and you can create content in minutes and not in hours. When we get into the hands-on, you're going to see this. AI is not meant to replace you, but instead it's an ally. It helps you as you grow your business, as you want to educate people, inspire people, and impact lives. It is not there, and it will never replace everyone. It will replace the mundane task you have to go through to create content or to get inspired. I want you to think about it as Toastmasters. If I want to create a speech, I can ask ChatGPT, what are the current subject matters? Or I can do research with it and have a conversation with it and get a whole lot of references. The models that they're using, I think, were updated back in the last model update was they're within this year in 2023. Before an older model, it was like a year behind. So if you ask it questions about something that happened before, data wasn't trained on, it wouldn't know anything about it. Now they're keeping it very up to date. So the current affairs are pretty much in there. But understand, AI is not meant to replace you. It is a tool to be used. It is not Skynet waiting to take over the world. However, I think as you go through this and you discover what can be done, you're going to be amazed at how this can help you. And not just Toastmasters and social media, but in your business, anything along that lines there, including work. What it's not good at, which is unusual, is math. It's just strange. We get into prompts. This is how we talk with ChatGPT. When you're creating prompts or input, you need to keep this in mind. You need to provide contextual details. You need to tell it who it is. You need to specify the role or job description, as is you are a copywriter, you are a digital marketer, you are a blog writer, whatever it may be, you're a landing page expert. You must tell it what it's doing. You need to tell it what you want. Also, feed it content or reference material. You can send to ChatGPT. You can actually have it upload and analyze a document. Now, we're going to do one in our hands-on. We're going to actually upload the Toastmaster brand manual. So you see how this works. Once we upload it, the chat we're in will know all about the colors, all about the fonts, and everything about the logos. You need to clearly state the desired topic or task. You need to say specifically, what do you want accomplished? An example we're going to do is create 10 social media post ideas designed for Instagram about public speaking. We need to specify the format we want it to come out in. We're going to feed data between ChatGPT and Canva through a comma separated values spreadsheet. And if we have to, we can refine it. We should look at these things as a conversation that we're having. So actually ChatGPT, as you're moving along through the conversation, remembers what was said before. You don't have to go back and tell it all various things and say, oh, by the way, repeat it. You can say, okay, I want you to modify this section. Now I'm going to talk about briefly about DALL-E. DALL-E was developed by OpenAI. It blends art and design with AI. It can create detailed, original visuals for input simply by putting in text. In fact, every image that you're seeing in this presentation was generated by DALL-E. And I just want to give you some examples. I told DALL-E or ChatGPT to generate an image of a young child facing the camera wearing a red hoodie. This is the image it came back with. Now, remember I said I can modify it. The next prompt was, modify the image and add a parrot on his shoulder. And this is what came back. Now, as you can see, It's a different child. The image is a little bit different. You'll notice that. But the gist of it is, if you need to go in and modify things and you want to keep the same image, you'll have to take it outside to another application. But as you can see, it's very simple. Command like that, I can generate these photorealistic images. Let me give you a few more things that you can do with it. And by the way, at the end of this, you will have, within a day or so, you'll have ability to download all the slides and also the prompts. So you can actually go in and play with this and use it. Here's another one. I want a macro image of a dog's mouth, exaggerated human-like laughter, oversized, perfect bleached white teeth. You see how detailed the information is? You're describing what you want. Photorealistic and high definition. This is the image. One of the two images that came back, but this is the one that just cracked me up the most. But don't think that's just cartoonish or these symbols. I want to give you a couple of more examples. This image was generated with the prompt on the left. Look at the detail. Fantasy art, surrealistic, 3D, hyper-realism, all this. And by the way, I learned these prompts by other groups, but just to see, and these are just simple, man. In fact, almost a lot of my memes now I'm creating with the DALL-E. Another example of an oil painting. You can actually, as you see here, what style to use, but look at the detail. I'm telling it what I want. That doesn't mean it comes back every time correctly. In fact, it comes back with some unusual things. And I can tell you right now, it has a difficult time with text. It will misspell like crazy, but you can use Canva for correcting the image. Now, you have any questions? Because we're about to go into the hands-on section of this. If you have any questions, go ahead. Or like I said before, you want to wait till at the end, just let me know. But also, are there any questions so far?
I have a question. This is really interesting so far. And I guess my question was, is it finding images already out there somewhere, or is it actually creating images for you with what your parameters are?
It's actually creating them.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Because if you actually ask it the same thing over and over, it will give you a different image every time. Someone else can use the same prompt and it won't quite be the same. It won't be the same. I guarantee you to be different. You saw back in the other one where I just said modify the image. When I said modify the image, it made a completely different one. It's not an exact duplicate, but you can see it keeps within the parameters of what you asked for. And in the case of DALL-E, it usually gives you two examples, and you can see which one you want, and then modify it as necessary. If you really want to get in there and really update it or change it, then you need to take another application like Adobe, Photoshop, Canva to do some basic editing. You can't get in there and really edit that image simply by prompts. In fact, when I provide the prompts that you show in the slide, I will actually add some more on there just so you can see how widespread and possibility things that you can do with it. And I find that most people that have background in photography, they have a way of explaining the photographs. I'm just using layman terms, and I'm still able to do stuff like this. This one here was, I believe, give me a robot on the stage answering a question for a Q&A session. And this is what it came up with. Is it perfect? No, but it's good enough for me for what we're doing.
And you can use those images in any way you want to, and it doesn't try to copyright them or anything like that.
No, like I said, and this is turning into, because a lot of people are actually doing a lot of AI artwork now, because it's really turning into a very ingenious, I don't know if ingenious is the way to put it, but people are creating incredible looking images, and some of them imagine assign it and then produce it and sell it or whatever they do with it. Because you can notice also the default value is a square image. This is a landscape one, so I told it to create it in landscape mode. I can do portrait, I can do landscape. There's a lot of things you can do with it. Are there any other questions before we get into the hands-on? Let's move on to the hands-on examples we have to use for Toastmasters, Canva, and ChatGPT. Now you want to log into your account, which I've already done. This is my account. you want to make sure that you're using ChatGPT 4. This is a paid subscription that I'm using. This is ChatGPT Plus. If you look in the menu up here, I can actually have a choice between ChatGPT. This is the free version, ChatGPT 3.5, and we won't worry about the plugins at the moment. So make sure that we're using GPT-4. Now we want to prime the model or GPT to let it know what we want it to do. So what we're going to do is down in the input section here, we're going to tell it that I want it to act as a media expert for Catonsville Toastmasters. You can replace Catonsville Toastmasters with your club name or whatever particular level of Toastmasters you're going to be talking about, area, division, it doesn't matter. Acting as, let me just prompt it here. We're going to put in acting as a social media expert for Catonsville Toastmasters and promoting various Toastmaster Club events, activities, and inspirational quotes on leadership, public speaking, and personal growth for Facebook and Instagram platforms. We're going to send the message. Now, as you can see, it's coming back with some feedback. Yours may look different. As you can see, it is now ready and primed. If you look over here on the left-hand side, you'll see that it came up with Social Media Toastmasters. This is the conversation or the chat we're having with it currently. You can now share this, rename it, or delete it. Right now, we'll just rename it, and we'll just call it GPT Canva Workshop. Previously, I downloaded the Toastmaster International brand manual, and I'm going to attach that to our conversation. And to do that, I simply click on the paper clip. I go to the brand manual, which I downloaded earlier, and I say open. And now you can see that by the circles it's uploading the manual. Once that's complete, I just send a message. And you can see ChatGPT is now reading the manual. Once the manual was loaded, everything that was in there is now known by ChatGPT. As a case here of the core values, it knows what the core values are. It knows what colors should be used and what fonts. So next, I'm just simply going to say, I want to prompt it to provide me 5 inspirational quotes on public speaking. And we send it. Here we have 5 quotes that we can use in Canva and create social media posts. But it's important to understand there is no direct connection between ChatGPT and Canva. So what we need to do is we need to output this data into a format that Canva understands. In the case of Canva, we can upload data using a comma-separated value format commonly known as a CSV file. The nice thing about it is I don't have to cut and paste all this. I can simply ask ChatGPT to create that file for me. So I'm going to ask GPT now to generate a CVS file with 3 columns. And these columns will be quote, author, and club name. Let's just enter that information in. I copied it from my clipboard. And here we have it. We have now a file that we can download that contains the quotes. What we want to do is we'll download it and save it to our computer. Now, this is the file that any spreadsheet application can read. Now that we downloaded that, we're going to go to Canva. So here I am, my Canva account. And I just happen to pick this quote here, this format, because it's a simple one and we can show how we can use it and how we integrate this into the file we just downloaded. So what I want to do is I highlight this text and I want to type in quote. This is where the quote from the spreadsheet will go. Here I'm going to type in author. Now I want to take this and make sure we get it nice and centered. Remember, we had one also called club name. So I want to add some text. Let me move this down. And I'm going to call it club name. I'm going to type in club name. I want to match the font. So what I do is see what font was used here. Tenor Sans. I'm going to make it the same. And as you can see, it knows which ones are in there. And I want to lower the font size. I don't want it dominating. Just make sure we have it the same size. So 18, and we'll just make this 18 also. And we'll move it down to where it's just above this and centered. And now we're ready to go. So now I've created a template that's going to have quote. The quote from the spreadsheet will go in here. The author's name will go here. And the club name will go here. In the paid version of Canva, you have an application called Bulk Create. And you can get a 30-day free trial of Canva Pro to try this out. But I want to select this. And if you don't see it on yours, simply go up into apps and then do a search and it will show up. So you see you can add the data manually. I can add it to a CVS file or CSV file and more data sources, which we won't worry about. But since I have a CSV file, I'm going to upload that file. So I go to the one that we uploaded or that was created by ChatGPT. I select it and I open it. And you can see it read it already. And it has 3 fields, quote, author, and club name. Now, what I need to do is connect the data from this to the corresponding information in the spreadsheet. I simply highlight the text box, right-click, connect data, and you can see it has quote author. I select quote. And now I do the same thing with the other fields. Now I've connected the data. You can tell because you see how the format's changed, where it has the brackets. And you can also see we have check marks here that said the data's been connected. We go down and hit continue. Now we have a list of all of the quotes that were in that file. You can select all of them or the individual ones, does not matter. And now we simply go in and say create the designs. It opens up another one. Now we have, as you'll look through here, all the quotes with the author's name and our club name. if you notice that they're all the same, which in many cases is fine. But if you want to add a little bit more to it, underneath the Canva Pro, you can also have brands. And over here we have brands. And let me just bring them up where you can see them all. You can see I have 4 of them. This one I can just get rid of eventually here. I've also added one for Toastmasters. And this is one where I've told it what my colors are, which you can get from the brand manual. I've uploaded the logo so it knows what it looks like. I've also set the text to the fonts that were in the brand manual of Toastmasters. Now, if I want to change the colors, I can just hit shuffle and it will change it and use the Toastmaster colors. I can do that with each one. And you can see some I like, some I don't like, or you just leave them the same. But these now are ready for download. So I just simply go to Share, Download, and I recommend using the JPEG version because this is going to a website, or if it's going to a social media platform, the JPEG format is much smaller and it will load a lot faster. I download, and they've been downloaded to my download folder, and they were ready to go. But wait, there's more. I go back to ChatGPT. I just don't want to put out there the image itself. I want to add some text to it. I want to add a little comment here for it. So I can go in here. I can ask to provide short Facebook social posts for each quote with a call to action. There you have it. We now have 5 additional things we can put on the post. This is where it may get a little hands-on, but when you actually post it, you can actually copy and paste the information, whichever part you like, add that to your post, and then add the corresponding image. And that's how we create social media posts for marketing our Toastmaster Club using ChatGPT and Canva. We've cut it down from hours to just a few minutes. I hope you found this helpful, and we'll see you in the next section.